Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, DDT. As y'all see the thumbnail, Errol Spence, does he make adjustments? If so, how or what will he do against Bud Crawford? Inquiring minds want to know all over the place. But we're going to get into that and much more. But y'all know the drill. First, let's turn to I had to cut this thing short. I don't know if my intro is if y'all see what I see, but it be pausing. If so, let me know in the comments. If y'all see that it paused when it play, I might have to just change it up, get a new one. A Thriller is in the building bright and early. What's poppin', King? He said, "What up, Miss T? I'm glad you're here." Because I'm gonna talk about somebody today. And they might come in. But I'm gonna say my piece, and I'm gonna let y'all have him after that if he come in. It's a good friend of mine. You know who I'm talking about. He never came into the show before, but I think he might want to. This guy is a go-to guy for me on a whole lot of stuff. We were in the Navy together, and like I said, very knowledgeable, smart uh, man that knows a lot of stuff. He is my go-to for a lot of things just in life, about my house, cars, how to do this, how to do that. But he has came down with the illness, just right. The illness that we've been calling Errol sexuals all this long time, trying to figure out, like what's wrong with them. Why do they live in the land of delusion and everything? But I dubbed the Spencevid 20. That's what I'm calling the illness, because it's definitely an illness. Spencevid 20. But y'all know what I do at the top of my hour. I'm going to get into the water check. Here at Boxing Fans Talk TV, we believe that in 2023 and beyond, nobody should be dehydrated. This has been a mild summer where I'm at. I don't know about where you guys at in the country. I heard that Texas was pretty hot and other places, but here on the East Coast, it hasn't been that bad. It's actually tolerable. And maybe summers go through phases, or seasons go through 5-year phases or something. But I know when I first got here in Georgia, man, it was like I had to slow walk. It was that damn hot. But it's kind of tolerable. I'm enjoying the summer and what it's doing. I don't know about you guys, like I said, but definitely drink your water. We know that a lot of people don't like to drink water. We advocate that if you're an adult, maybe even if you're 16 and up, you should be able to drink a gallon of water. Everybody, whether you're an elite athlete or not, drink a gallon of water a day. If you can't, we said at least shoot for 100 ounces. You will see a major difference in your health and your overall well-being by just doing that. So, did I make my mark? I did, and I'm gonna be closer to the gallon, But as long as I get to 100 ounces a day, I'm good. Okay, so we know that people don't like to drink water. It's an acquired taste sometimes, but it's an acquired taste that your body can pick up and prefer. So we say at least twice a day that you just drink your water. And that's first thing in the morning before you get into your morning routine. Before them toes get out of bed and hit the ground. Have your 8 ounces on the nightstand. If it's room temperature, learn how to drink room temperature water. I advocate that you put a mini fridge in your room. It ain't gonna mess up your electric bill. Trust me, if it did, I wouldn't be saying none of that. But it's better to have that mini fridge where I can keep my refreshments nice and cold than to make that trek downstairs to the kitchen where I can open up the fridge and be like, while I'm here, let me go on and pull these leftovers out and let me go on and whip this up and this, that, and the other. So to keep me honest, I keep my water upstairs. I even bought a water cooler because I heard some disparaging remarks about Deer Park, and I'm not Deer Park doesn't pay me, but that was the water that I was drinking. I like spring water. I don't like purified water. I don't like any of that. I might as well just drink some filtered tap water if I'm gonna drink purified water. So I always got the spring water, but I heard through the grapevine, I don't know how true it is, but it gave me pause that Deer Park was you know, something was funny going on with the water over there. Like it might not be as springy as I thought it was. So I said, you know what? We got a fresh spring water fountain coming out of the ground down the street from me. Literally 5-minute drive down the street from me. How lucky are we? Because if you look at a lot of places, a lot of states and cities all over the country have fresh water coming out the ground and they're not regulated and nobody tries to put clamps on it, and it was for the people and it was a good thing. But you go to those sprouts and you find that it's contaminated. I know where I'm from in Virginia, green shit be coming out of it now. I'll be like, damn, who fucked up the water? But this one is still pretty good. I went to the pool place and bought me some keto sticks. And so when I get my water, I always pour that first cup and I test the water and it's pure. It's pure. It's like it'd be registering like at a 6.9, and 7 point is neutral. 7.35. It's about as alkaline as you want to get, but it's neutral. So you don't want to be too alkaline. You don't want to be acidic. Anything under 7 pH balance is acidic, and acidic does not do your body good. So I test my water every time I drink it. I got like I said, a cooler. Didn't cost me a lot, and it's a bottom loader cooler, and the water dispenses out there cold, cool, and hot, and I mean hot. So I can get hot tea up here in my room if I want or whatever, and I'm enjoying that. I bought me 5 ounce cups, and I always say drink your water in small doses because you'll finish it. Ain't nothing worse than buying 16-ounce bottles, a case of 16-ounce bottles of water, and then you drink half of it and set it down as if you're gonna come back to it. You never do. So I was always buying the 8-ounce bottles, but now that I got the cooler, I got 5-ounce cups up there. I find myself, filling up my 5-ounce cups twice or three times. And at 5 ounce, that's close to a 16-ounce bottle. I won't do that regularly. I won't grab a 16-ounce and drink that much in one sitting. So, but I do it when I'm doing 5-ounce cups because I can gulp them down real quick, and that's how I'm able to get close to the amount that I should drink a day. And I'm shocked because that's all I did was get a water cooler and have the 5 ounce. And people, you spend more on your shoes than what I spent on this cooler. I know y'all listen to me. Y'all be like, Miss T, you always buying the gadget. I do. I'm a gadget person. But you will spend more on your shoes shoes than I did on that cooler. And the payoff is good because I'm constantly drinking water. So, you know, like I said, that first time, so your body can work in a timely manner, efficient manner. When you wake up, you're gonna be, churning and burning. The second time is at night before you go to bed. Even the American Heart Association agrees that you should drink water before you lay down for your deep sleep. It's good for your heart. Anything good for your heart, you should be doing triple fold. Um, and it's a lot of work going on at night when you're sleeping. Don't seem like it, but when you're in a deep sleep, you revamping, rebooting, recharging, redirecting, recreating, and all that work, oddly enough, leads to you burning 900 to 1,000 calories at night in the sleep. Now, what better way to burn calories but in your sleep? You can't even get that in a workout. The best workouts, and I mean a good workout, you're going to burn approximately about 150 calories. If you balls the wall with it, maybe 300, but 900 is more. You see what I'm saying? And then the average person, when they up and about, just going to work, coming home, picking up the kids, maybe stopping at the grocery store, stopping at any store or whatever, coming home, the average person burned about 1,500 or more, depending on your body. You burn on average about that much during the day. So you already like 1,000 away from burning a whole pound off you. But it matters. It does matter, calories in, calories out, but not like you think it do. But anyway, that's my point about it. Drink your water, because it doesn't matter what you try to do in life. And most people, they be into the dieting of it all of that will fail if you do not drink your water. So make sure you drink water, and don't be one of these people in the 21st century that's having a dehydration problem, because dehydration causes damage. You might not see it at the time, especially if you're young, but trust you me, when you get older, you're going to see it later. Things that can happen to you when you're young shows up when you start getting older. You don't have to be old. You notice I ain't saying when you're old, saying when you're getting older. Um, so to the young folks, a hint to the wise should be sufficient. So now that we did that, let's get a little housekeeping out the way. Please, 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 in my James Brown voice, click that like and share button and subscribe button. If you've already subscribed, you locked in, you ain't got to do nothing. We got you. But every time you come in here, hit the like and share button, leave a comment, statement, question. I do get back with you. We can have difference of opinion. I'm good with that. You can also leave a comment, statement, question at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. That's my email. I check it often, and I get back with you. I come on Monday through Fridays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday through Fridays, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Unless I got something to do. Y'all know Miss T plate is full. I got a lot to do. I'm trying to move. I'm preparing for a wedding. Lord, the sister tired. And that nice, lovely Cash App right there, Boxing Fans Talk TV. I like to thank everybody for their previous Cash Apps, future Cash Apps, pending Cash Apps, whatever. It all goes back into the show so that I can have adequate equipment to come here and talk this good old boxing talk. So now that I've done all that, let's get to it. I see Thriller, the Black Picasso in the building. What up, King? WJ Luckett is in the building. What's poppin', King? He says, salute Queen T. Let me see if I can put it up there. Salute Queen T. I don't think Errol will be able to adjust to the hot grease Bud about to throw him into. I don't think so neither. It's gonna be a fish fillet. What did Ike Turner say? A 5-5-5-5 your ass. WJ said, what up, E3? Y'all saying what up to each other. Jason William is in the building. What's poppin'? He said, peace, y'all. Hiccup, my dude, ATX Slab Light Cletus, aka Big Texas, is in the building. What's poppin'? King say, yo, what's poppin'? Said, what up, Jason Williams? Okay, look, I'm going to take y'all on the journey. Before we get into the adjustment, I have to address something. I do. I just got to. All of us have friends that we have known for years, and they were logical, made sense, smart, intelligent, whoop the whoop, all the bells and whistles. But when it comes to this Spence and Crawford fight, Spence fans really do be living in La La Land. They really do be delusional. And this is not hyperbole, this is factual. They offer up their feelings as facts. Not all Spence fans do this. There's a small percentage that you can tolerate and don't do this with, but I mean, the bulk of them, I just can't believe it. Well, one of my good friends, I hope he watching tonight. He always claimed he gonna come in, but he didn't. So sometimes we be just texting each other, and dude said, he said, I heard through the grapevine in the Twitter sphere. So he's saying he heard this. That Top Rank is about to lose ESPN. Of course, I haven't heard it. And I haven't heard it through social media. Let me be transparent. I can't say that I've seen some social media like YouTube channels saying this. I don't doubt that they have said it, because I'm gonna tell you, without saying the person's name, he watched a couple of people that even avid Spence fans or old like some of the LWC channels, they don't even mess with this dude no more because he lied that much. I try to tell my friend that's not the people you want to watch because you're going to get a lot of lies, but he doesn't believe me. So when he said he said through the Twitter, I said he must be talking about so and so, and I ain't gonna call his name because I respect everybody to do what they do. If you feel you got to lie to get your point across, and hey, that's your burden that you bear. But he said, I heard through the grapevine the Top Rank about to lose ESPN. So I'm scratching my head like, where you hear that from? So to that I say, at this point, with no proof, I have to call it a lie. I have to call it a lie because there's no proof of that. There's no proof. When you have Bud fans or Bud buddies or whatever you want to call us, we offer you receipts and facts. May I remind you, E Thriller himself got a 19-part series. The dude always come with receipts. There is even a YouTube channel out there that comes off like he's non-biased or he's just speaking about the facts between both of them. But you know what he didn't play? He'll play the behind the scenes when the Maurice Hooker fight when Bud and Errol met up, or he'll state that because you can't deny that everybody saw that one. But he leave out ones like when Spence said, "Go get a belt," and then he'd turn around and say, "Spence ain't never talked about that." They showed the one when Spence was in the hallway somewhere, and he said, "I don't care who fight, whoever it may be. I ain't ducking no fighters or whatever." And Spence did say that, but he also said, when you go get a belt from Jeff Horn. He was Top Rank, basically telling Crawford, y'all in the same side of the street. Go get that belt, then come holler at me. He don't mention that. He go on like that never happened. And then as you listen to him, you can hear the bias. Now, I said, and I think E Thriller agreed with me. I said, you know what, going forward, just before we knew the fight was cemented and it was going to be done, I said, I can't argue with nobody about how they feel. Because how you feel is how you feel. If you feel Spence is the best, who am I to tell you wrong? I can point out why I think you're wrong, but I can't tell you wrong. So I was like, here lately, I've been doing really good about not getting sucked in to no debate or nothing about how a person feel, because that's a waste of time. With this fight being so controversial and everything, it's a waste of time. So when he said that, I was like, he proceeded to go on and say he was saying it because the word is out about what's going to happen to Showtime's doom, Like what's going to happen to Showtime overall, according to Paramount. This is not according to Miss T or any other YouTube channel or even the LBC. This is according to Paramount. Paramount put this out, not none of us. It's not our decision. We don't have that kind of authority or power to make this call. Okay? Paramount said that they're absolving Showtime because the lack of revenue, or they're not doing well, So they're going to absolve them into Paramount Plus with Showtime. That's going to be the new brand name of them. Showtime said that. And this is why I say I'm giving the illness a name. I'm calling it Spence Vid 20. Like we had COVID-19. Spence Vid 20 is what a lot of Spence fans have. It allows them to be delusional, irrational, illogical, and the rest, because they don't make sense. Basic things that as a youngster, as a 5-year-old. Like 5-year-olds, if you ask them when their birthday is, they can tell you the date. They understand it comes once a year. They can tell you the difference between 1 year and the next. Not a Spence fan. Let me get some shout outs. D Young is in the building. What's poppin', King? He said, Queen T, salute my baby. What's poppin' with you? Jerry Tasker. Yeah, Jerry. Eddie Hearn said weeks ago that Top Rank was losing their deal with ESPN. And y'all listening to that? So because Eddie Hearn, who doesn't have no deals with ESPN, we just gonna go by what he said. Y'all got any proof? I'll take the proof. I'll listen if it's some proof. But welcome to the building. What's poppin', Jerry? General Big Fish is in the building. What's poppin', King? He said, Boss T. He said, exactly, Miss T. General Big Fish said, damn, at Jerry Tasker. Did Bud put Bob out of business? Now, this is what I mean by, I'll call Jerry a Spence fan or nothing. I won't say that Jerry exactly got Spence Vid 20, but I would say Jerry been hanging around some people that got it. And, he might got a brush of it, you know what I'm saying? But he don't got the full-blown Spence Vid 20, because Jerry said, and y'all remember that suit that Terrence was doing is dropped. Remember Jerry said that? And correct me if I'm wrong, y'all looked at the 2 press conferences. Y'all looked at Terrence Crawford's $1 million worth of game. He did another interview with this white guy with glasses. I don't know his name. He got a weird name. He did an interview with him, and I can't remember which interview, but he was asked point blank, is that suit over? Is it canceled? He said no, still going. So Jerry, that's out of Terrence Crawford mouth. But if we listen to you, the suit was off the table. It was dropped. So now, Jerry, I got to ask you where you get your information. Or are you coming down with Spence Vid 20? Now, let me get back to these Spence sexuals or Errol sexuals. I always say attitude reflect leadership. I do see the growth in Spence over time. He was a young man saying some crazy shit. I'm going to give you an example. Tune-ups are for people who ain't sure of themselves. He just made a natural occurring thing a negative. Tune-ups have always been a part of boxing. Every fighter that you know and love, from the greatest, the elites, to the bottom of the barrel, have all taken tune-ups. Tune-ups are a necessary tool, something that can be executed when needed for many different reasons. And it don't have to be because somebody's scared, they weak, or they avoiding. Is none of that. It could be, hey, they're just coming off of injuries. Maybe they was arrested. It don't matter what the reasons is. If you've been out the ring for a while, sometimes it's good to get a tune-up because ring rust is a thing. It's a real thing. So by Earl saying it like that, he took a positive thing or a thing that wasn't a big deal and he made it a negative thing. And of course, his fans ran with it. They act like he's the man of steel. Corey Spinks, one of the few undisputed welterweights that we have ever had the same, injury. But when you hear him speak about a detached retina or a tore retina, it don't sound like how Spence fans talk about him. Let them tell it. He's Superman, the man of steel. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you would attribute to happen to a person, it don't happen to Spence. It don't happen to Spence. So the delusion is crazy because then you make Bud fans or people who are not hardcore Spence fans say, what about this? What about that? And then here come the Spence fans with the delusion. Now, I always used to say attitude reflect leadership. Spence's attitude, how he spoke about things, how he went about things, was his way of leading. His fans picked up on it, and they became worse than what he was. But his fans were a direct reflection of him. It was the shit he said. Let me quote. I will never fight on ESPN. And he said that shit like he had some animosity. Y'all remember September 2018 or was it 19 interview? It wasn't his fight, but he had a blue sweater on. I would never fight on ESPN. I'm like, damn, what ESPN do to you? Don't ever say never. Because if Showtime disappeared in thin air, where the fuck you gon' fight? That's why you don't say stupid shit like that. You act like Showtime is gonna be there forever, and then you sitting there watching how people falling off, Fox falling off. You can't say nothing about PBC. You can't say nothing about Showtime without a Spence fan feeling you talking about him. Spence vid 20, the delusional sector. Like I said, as if ESPN was beneath him. But if Showtime don't do boxing no more, where you gonna fight, Earl? I dare any of you say, oh, you got the app? Because I used to say it. But guess what I just learned? The app, the Showtime app is going away too. So, and then my friend, he kills me because, again, I say a 5-year-old can understand this. He can't distinguish between last year and this year, like the difference in years. I know that he can. I've seen him do it. I mean, he did my retirement. That required dates, right? To know the dates and have things ready by a certain date. We both were in the elite part of the Navy. We were CTs. So we know dates. I know this man's smart. But he talked about what Showtime is doing now. As if that matters. What part of Paramount made their decision about Showtime based on last year's numbers and the previous years? They didn't give a fuck what was going on this year. They didn't know what was going on this year. And yet they made a decision and they're acting on it. As we speak right now, they're acting on it. But to tell a Spence fan that, it's like a dazed look, like you shine the light in their face and they daze, deer in the headlights. If you say that, some kind of way, you're putting down Spence, even though you're not. You're talking about one company who is the boss, talking about something they're gonna do with another company who's their worker bee. Showtime falls under Paramount Plus, so do CBS. They work for Paramount. Paramount has a right to shot call, has the authority to make decisions on their behalf. They're the boss. Paramount does not have authority or could call any shots at PBC or Errol Spence. And Paramount didn't attempt to do that and haven't done that. And no person, whether you're a Bud fan or not, claimed that that was the case. But these folks is butthurt. And they think in the midnight hour that because they're putting on these great fights, that's going to change something. The time to do that, the time to show Paramount that was last year. Paramount said they getting rid of anything that was 10% or less, performing at 10% or less. And at Showtime, boxing was in that category. They could see that their subscription base wasn't due to boxing. So they're not bringing that over there with them. You can see that if any of you got cable, I got Xfinity. There's a button on your remote where you can hit and say Showtime, USA, or you call out the name of the channel or the channel number, and your TV will turn to it, right? When I push the button and say Showtime, it take me to a channel where it's asking me to do a free trial and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, but I got Showtime. Me saying Showtime does not even register. I have to say USA, and then hit the guide button and go down to the Showtime channel just to turn Showtime on. That's the only way I can get to Showtime, because otherwise the TV is not registering as that. And now I know why, because they started the shit already. But we know that's, you talking about 60 million people that watch Showtime. That shit ain't going to happen overnight. They ain't going to just flip a switch and turn everybody off and then everybody got to go to Paramount. That is bad business. Okay. Well, another thing, let me get some of these chats. WJ said, what up, D Young? He said, what up, Big Fish? General Big Fish said, Miss T, I need to speak to the manager. Okay, Big Fish. Andrew Charles said, salute. What's popping, Andrew? Welcome to the building. Another thing that they would say, I quote, wrong side of the street. Top right now, now recently, Errol Spence claimed that they one of the best matchmakers. Did anybody catch that, or was I alone in that? And again, I'm talking about their recent interviews, $1 million worth of game, whatever else they interview with, YouTube channels they interview with, press conference. Errol Spence said this in one of them press conferences. Top Rank make some of the best matchmakers. The best matchmaking. You wasn't saying that when Bud was there. Top Rank was the dirty word. They were terrible for boxing. My friend tried to get me to believe. This is what he said. He said all that shit about Top Rank and ESPN wanting to terminate the contract early. And then he threw this at the end. Burn, don't it? Yeah, PBC is the last one standing. So my friend, you didn't offer it as a feeling or just as you heard, because when I talked to him later, he said, I said I heard, but you offered it as facts when you said PBC is the last one standing. Matchroom ain't no good because they ain't got Canelo. Okay, whatever. That is how you feel. That's how they take how they feel, and some kind of way they turn it into facts. I call it Spence Vid 20. They might have a shot for that. Or they might have a cure for that. I believe that cure is going to be launched in a city near you on July 29th this month, when Terrence Crawford beat the dog shit out of Errol Spence. That's when that cure is going to be administered, and it might bring people out of the trance. They make me think they like Undercover Brother. Remember when when he was eating the chicken and you was hypnotized, they in a trance or something. That's how I feel to speak to Spence fans sometimes. Again, I'm gonna say not all, but most, and it's too much to be like a couple of here and there. It's too much of y'all that's out there that's just straight delusional. So now Top Rank make the best matchmaking. So is Top Rank the wrong side of the street? And then if you think about it, all the 135 pounders over there Top Rank. So what's this thing about Bud made a terrible, terrible mistake by going over there because all the welterweights was at PBC. I've even asked people like PGH, Big Dog, that's one of my day ones. I asked him, I said, why you hate Bud so much? Because he signed with Top Rank. You hate him because he chose to sign with Top Rank? I don't hate no fighter for picking whomever they want to sign with. I wish him the best. I wish him prosperity. And another lie. PBC does me right with the money, etc. PBC is all that in the bag of chips. You got Adrian Broner. He ain't lying. Deontay Wilder said as much. Other people, what's that dude that did the interview was making the rounds? Damn. Not Love. One of Floyd's old fighters. You had plenty of people that have come out and say how PBC paid them. And how you got a 360 kind of deal. You can't really get out the contract. Even when your contract expires, you still have to pay Al Heyman. It's crazy. Errol Spence never got a purse over $2 million that I can think of. He might have got back end money, maybe. He just ordered. I bet he happy as hell. He had $350,000. And y'all call that a pay-per-view star? That's not. It's not. It's not even a real blip. It's okay. You definitely will break even or do a little bit better. You definitely met a threshold where you can get some back end. But you get some PBC fighters that try to act like, well, y'all see what they say. They pay us, but we get a little bit more. They just got to tell it. That's something I would never admit. Because I'm sure somebody watching y'all fight work at the IRS. If I was the IRS, I'd be like, oh, really? Really? You getting that under the table money? Do tell me about it. And then y'all got to think about it like this. PBC is so good. They do so much right for their fighters. They don't shelve their fighters. They don't not pay their fighters. They pay their fighters. Contrary to what their fighters say, they pay their fighters. And they pay them handsomely. But Terrence Crawford was the highest paid welterweight, just so you know. But they do so much right for their fighters. They so good to them that it wasn't until Terrence and Spence got together that the fight got put together. They had to do it themselves and then include PBC. Because remember, Terrence is an independent contractor. So he didn't have to include Bob or somebody like that. They did the heavy lifting, as you want to say. And then they include PBC. And then you remember that little tweet that Errol said, I feel like I've gotten played. I'm paraphrasing or something like that. Who was he talking about? He didn't specify, but you know he can't be talking about Terrence. And when PBC was running the show, trying to put the fight together, neither one of them was going to get a purse, which is odd because isn't that what boxing is? Prize fighting. Don't everybody get a prize when they fight? Isn't that how it's supposed to be? So now we want to act like that was normal, that is the normal course of action for two fighters to meet up and not get paid. Never mind that it happened. Only time that shit happens is when you with PBC. You don't hear about that shit at Golden Boy. You don't hear about that shit at Top Rank. And you don't hear about that shit at Matchroom. Only PBC is bold enough to pull some shit off like that, have two fighters fight, and don't give them a purse. And want to talk about the prize, the back end money, but don't give them a prize. And that's what this is. It's prize fight. Spence vid is what I say. Spence vid 20. You know, Jerry Tasker said General Doubtful. Okay. But I wanted to put that out there because I don't know if that's something that's going around and people talking about that, this ESPN, but I'm going to show y'all proof. Remember everything I just said, I'm going to actually show y'all receipts in a minute. And matter of fact, I probably should just lead with the receipts. So let me hold on. Presents arms. Let me see. Whew. I can't even see these. Okay. Is this the window? Okay. So let me go with this. All right, y'all see on the screen, Top Rank and ESPN signed a 4-year deal that began in August 2017, right? So that means 2021 would have been the 4th year. It was amended in April to coincide with the launch of ESPN Plus streaming service, on which Top Rank began promoting exclusive boxing cards. Under the new deal, Top Rank events will continue to air live on ESPN in prime time as well as on ESPN Plus. As you see, Top Rank Boxing reaches new 7-year deal with ESPN, right? So you see that, right? If I just scroll down a little bit, and just in this area where it's said ESPN and Top Rank announced historic agreement. August 2nd, 2018, new 7-year deal runs through 2025. It includes 54 exclusive live Top Rank on ESPN events. I don't need to read no more on that. I think y'all see my point. I think y'all get the point on that one. Okay, I think so. Let me make sure that this popped up because I switched the page. Let me say this. In an interim memo, CEO Bob Bakish announced the company's rebranding its Showtime channel as Paramount Plus with Showtime. Paramount confirmed the change in a post on Twitter, noting that the merger is the natural next step in our evolution. Just showing you different things. Let me see. No, that's not it. So, okay, so I'm going to put this one down. Stop that. So y'all just saw that. So what my friend was talking about, we in 2023. How many of us made it through elementary? And we know the difference between one year to the next. So for him to say ESPN, I heard, is thinking about terminating early their contract with Top Rank, but you offer no receipts. And Matchroom is done because Canelo signed with PBC. So PBC is the shit. And he talking about the stuff that PBC been doing this year, which are great things. So that leaves PBC standing. When you said the last one standing. So when you said that part, my friend, you put your feelings and try to offer them as facts. I believe you got Spence vid 20 and July 29th. Terrence is going to administer the cure to that. So don't worry, it's coming, y'all. Because as I just read, the 7 years don't end to 2025. That's 2 years from now. 2 motherfucking years from now. So anybody who starts that rumor and starts saying that bullshit, Y'all, there it is. Y'all got whatever. So let me, Lord, where's all this stuff at? Okay, let me pull this one up. Uh, so let me see. I'm just gonna read a couple of things, get it out the way. Uh, so look at this. Talking about deadlines. Paramount Plus with Showtime debuts. Everything you need to know. Starting today. Let's see if we get the date. What's today's date? We in July, right? This was dated June 27th, 2023, a few days ago. Today is July 3rd. Starting today, that meant June 27th. For some of you Spence fans that got Spence Vid 20. Paramount Plus is the new streaming home of Showtime, the latest in a string of moves at major media companies looking to integrate their offerings to boost engagement and reduce churn. The launch adds Showtime's edgier program to Paramount Plus library for $11.99 a month. Paramount Plus lives on without Showtime in a $5.99 essential plan. Y'all can go look up these things. I told y'all it was changing. I told you it was changing. It is what it is. Let me stop this. Stop the screen because I don't want y'all to see too much unless I make sure that I show you the facts and not extra shit. WJ what's good, fam? Jerry said filling over facts. Basically, this entire show, with all due. I'm talking about facts, Jerry. I'm showing you receipts. So I don't know. I think you meant that I'm doing that. I don't know. You clarify. Big Fish salute at D Young. He said, Miss T ain't go. Let this one go. I can't. Because I don't. That's funny. I don't be starting at Big Fish. I mean, you and I both know if the idiocy comes your way, you can't help but say what you gotta say. And maybe y'all don't want me to show what's really gonna happen. You know. Oh, let me see. Okay, I'll skip past some stuff. I'll play this one. I'll take your advice, Big Fish. I'm gonna play some stuff. Or show some stuff. I ain't show everything because I don't want to give you too much. Because I don't know if y'all took y'all blood pressure today. So on June 27th, 2023, Paramount Plus will become the streaming home to all things Showtime. The standalone Showtime streaming app would eventually, now look what they say, the standalone Showtime streaming app, the standalone Showtime streaming app would eventually be phased out or sunsetted, as we say in the biz. However, classic Showtime will still be available on the add-on channel package on cable, satellite, live streaming TV series. So they even phasing out the app, y'all. Hold up. Someone prepared Jimmy Lennon Jr. It's not Showtime anymore. Instead, get ready for Paramount Plus Showtime on cable streaming. The deadline published, citing internal communication from Chris McCarthy. Now, if you read this whole memo, down the bottom, you're going to see where it's talking about the 10% thing. Last year, Showtime pointed out, I'm showing y'all the article. You can go get it. I'm showing y'all the article. It was dated January 30, 2023. That's what this says. But you can find articles from last year where they was talking about Showtime, anything that Showtime did that was 10% or less, Paramount has discarded it. They're getting rid of it. That's not just boxing. They're just getting rid of shows and everything that people actually like. And they was like, nope. First series shows, they got to go. They getting rid of them. That's what Paramount has decided to do. Again, this ain't Miss T. This ain't all of us. Steven Espinoza. Steven will continue in his role as president of sports, moving over to CBS Sports. So why is Steven going to walk away from Showtime if Showtime is here to stay? CBS Sports reporting to, that means he's under David Burson, president of CBS Sports. Convinced? I mean, you can find, just Google. Let Google be your friend. This article talk about how Showtime and MMA joined together, and they talk about how MMA has moved over to CBS a while ago. That's where they going, Shawty. They going over to CBS, and CBS is a regular, what I always call regular TV, and it's, you know, if they ain't showing the rate at which they show boxing now, that's not going to change when they all go over there. And look at what this say. The signing and subsequent disaster that is Jake Paul deal with Showtime Boxing could spell the end of the network in 2023. World Boxing News understands. Several reports in the media suggest Showtime will at least get downgraded in the coming months after signing Paul failed to turn around the fortune of the ailing boxing program. So I've shown you receipts, basically. So if you was talking about facts over feeling, I just showed you receipts. I didn't write those articles. So you couldn't be saying I'm doing feelings. But that's what I had to say, because that is a narrative that's being built. But I'm going to give everybody, I'm going to read through this real quick about what the show topic was about. Can he make adjustments? You know, and I say Errol Spence got a few things he do very, very well. So in order for us to fairly cover this, we have to agree, or what has already been shown when these two have been in the ring. Often you hear, well, in sparring, you know, because he gave Floyd the so-called black eye. But sparring don't matter in the long run, or what you did as an amateur. It doesn't matter. You have your amateur career, you have what you do in sparring, and then you have what you do under the lights in your professional career. What matters and what get counted is what you do in your professional career. You know, so it's what you do now under the lights. You know, I can give y'all a prime example of this. Mary Lou Retton. I don't know if a lot of y'all remember her. Those of a particular age, we do. Mary Lou Retton didn't even make the Olympic team. Didn't even make it. She went as an alternate, because just in case, when you take them gymnasts, they always bring a couple of them because they could get hurt along the way. Well, that's how she got her claim to fame. Somebody got hurt. They had to scoop her in, and that girl had gold after gold. Mary Lou Retton is an American icon Olympian. She made money. She set for life just by hitting gold. But on the day of her Olympic trials, she wasn't batting 1,000. She wasn't the better woman that day. But the day they asked her to step up to the plate, that hoe was on fleek. You hear me? So that's what we remember. We remember the day of competition, when the lights were on, when it counted. So that's why I say, don't worry about the sparring. Don't worry about the amateur. None of that matters. How they actually show their skills to the public at large is where the judgment should come from. Talking about what you feel or what you guess they will do has no bearing on this case. And that's why I say I don't talk about how a person feel about. You can love Errol Spence and all that. If I hear the feeling part, I just be like, oh, he got Spence bid 20. He can't think. So we all know Errol Spence has the following attributes. He's a pressure fighter, and a good one at that. Talk about so we can talk about the different type of pressure. You got the pressure when you walking somebody down, you cutting the ring off, you always in their face, you're making them reset. Or we could talk about the punch fact. You're always punching, you always throwing something, putting something in their face that make them rethink. You getting them off balance, you fainting, all that stuff you could do to apply pressure is very important. And that's a good attribute to have. And Errol Spence has that in droves. From what we could see when he's in the ring, this is what I've witnessed. That's what he does great. He does that great. Or maybe is what is he was great at doing it with the opponents that he had. So he does utilize his jab. You can tell Errol Spence is from the school of be first with the jab. Throw that mug out. Constantly throw the jab out. Is he the best jabber? I don't think so. But I don't think he the worst neither. I think he's great at jabbing. I think he really utilized that concept. Be the first. Throw the jab out. Again, that makes a person reset, rethink, doubt themselves, have to just come up with a whole nother game plan. All that. It helps him walk down his opponents. As you would hear commentators always say, you got to work off the jab. He need to do a body punch, but he need to do some other stuff. But he need to work off the jab. Errol Spence throws the jab. Another great thing he does. He walks forward. He has the sense enough to do the pressure, throw the jab, just constantly leaning in the person's face, putting that pressure on. So, and at the same time, he's walking you forward. He's walking forward. You wind up walking back. So if you're a person that can't fight out the back foot or walking back, you in trouble. But we know that's not the case with Terrence. But that's a great attribute that Earl has. Errol Spence is also relentless. This is one of my favorite things about him. It doesn't matter. This dude is relentless. He'll come at you. He just won't stop. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you got to do to make him stop. But maybe, again, that's the caliber of opponents that he had. They couldn't figure it out, but he's relentless. And that matters. That really matters. And that's one of his greatest attributes. You will hope that all fighters are relentless when they get in the ring. And he sits on his punches. He really do sits on his punches. Now, I always say, not tell him. I always talk about him like he reminds me of a person that's halfway sitting down as he moves around the ring. That's helped him thus far. It depends though. When you get a boxer who's on their toes and know how to box, that won't help you. Because you got to get off your feet and get on your toes, and all of that takes time just to deal with this person that's bouncing around and on their toes. We all know that the person that's on their toes versus the person that's flat-footed is going to have the advantage. So Earl Spence got to pick his feet up. But it serves him well when he do feel like he get in position and he sits down on his punches. Because if you really want to hurt somebody, that's what you got to do. Great attribute. And we know that Errol Spence got power. He got thudding power. Do he got knockout power? I don't know. I don't think so. He hasn't knocked nobody out in a while except Ugas, and he did knock him out. They stopped the fight. But he does have power in his hands. He does have thudding power. You can hear it when you watching him in the ring. So he does have power. And if he don't have the greatest of power, he has respectable power. Because you always have to wonder why people stand and just let him just stand there and let him hit him like a punching bag. Bud won't do that. I have a theory on that. Y'all like to hear it? Here it go. I think when Errol Spence start hitting people and they just be paused and they just let him go to work, I think Errol Spence have hit him in the nuts. And maybe that's how that dude do. I really do. I'm not trying to be funny. I just really do. I think, because I always say, what make this dude not move? Well, hell, if the nut shot hurt real bad and the ref ain't gonna call it, what you gonna do? Bounce around and jump up and down? No, or you gonna stay still till that pain go away? And while you standing still, Errol Spence gonna come at you like you a punching bag. So I'm just saying. The question is, Have I said anything that Errol Spence Jr. does that Bud Crawford don't do or have done? And my answer is no. I'm tired of the fundamentally sound talking point. It's just a talking point. Why? Because it isn't that how you describe most elite fighters? You name me an elite fighter that's not fundamentally sound, and I'm gonna say I'll wait in my thriller voice. Y'all know how that goes. I will, but I'm just saying, an elite fighter. Name me an elite fighter that's not fundamentally sound. Most fighters are fundamentally sound. You look at Rolly Romero, he's a champion, been a champion just now twice, two division champion. I wouldn't say he fundamentally sound. So I ain't saying you have to be fundamentally sound to even become a champion. I'm saying if you're an elite fighter, the boxing history is full of elite fighters that never got to be either champion, undisputed, or unified, or whatever. That don't mean that they wasn't fundamentally sound. So that talking point, if that's all that Errol fans can come up with, but he fundamentally sound, as do all elite fighters, or they couldn't be elite. So that was what I had to say about adjustment, because in the end, adjustment to me is when you change something that you either take away from your opponent or handicap them with, that changes the everything to your favor. Like if your opponent likes to jab all the time, and you can slip the punches like you sweet pea and come on the angle and jab him, or come over the top and jab him, and that hurts him, then guess what? He might not do that. If you know how to strategically place your punches, and now your opponent drop his hands and his face is wide open, then you made an adjustment. I don't call throwing your hands or lack thereof an adjustment, but I do call pressure an adjustment. So I'm gonna drop this link, and you guys could come in and tell me, what is adjustment to you? Do Errol Spence make adjustments? And if so, how? And or what would he do against Bud Crawford? Because from when I named off his attributes, all six of them, I didn't say nothing that Bud can't do. Bud can put pressure on you. He has shown that he could do that in all the ways that you could put pressure on somebody. Bud utilizes his jab and work off his jab. He has shown you that. He walks you down or forward. He has shown you that. He's relentless. He has shown you that, because neither one of them gets tired. They both relentless. Bud sits on his punch. Remember the last punch he threw before Sean Porter Dad threw the towel in? He showing you that he was sitting down on them shits. When he bust Sean Porter in the diaphragm, he was sitting down on that joint. And we know that Bud got power. How we know? Because he done locked out the last 10 opponents. Now again, you want to quiver with the caliber of the opponent. I would say, Spence fans or Earl himself, because his fans only doing what he showed. Line up every opponent that Bud has fought, all 39 of them, and tell them to their face they ain't shit. And tell them they ain't nothing. They worthless. They bums. Tell them to their face and see if they agree with it. I mean, to me, that's the hypocrisy of it all. The craziness of it all. Spence probably could beat everybody that Bud fought. And Bud could probably beat everybody that Spence fought. We know that they have two fighters in common, and Bud did a better job with them. Y'all act like Spence is 25 and Bud is 35. You might as well say they about the same age. So age is not going to give neither one of them no advantage. Bud don't get no advantage. Spence don't get no advantage. They're pretty much the same age. Jamal Neasy is in the building. What's Papa King said? Cook, woman, cook. You know. So tell me, I left the link right there. Don't be afraid. Come on in. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. But come on in and speak your piece. Jared, I'm looking for you to tell me, why did you tell me that the suit was dropped when it wasn't? I'm looking for that answer, Jared. I ain't picking on you, but you came back and back and back, excuse me, to tell me several times that the suit was dropped. It's like you wanted me to say, okay, Jared, the suit is dropped, and you want me to report it, but I never did. And I'm glad I didn't, because I never saw, and that's what I told you, Jared. If it is, it is. But I never saw anything that said that suit was over. Never saw it, Jared. So I'm just asking, where did you get that information, Jared? Because you were saying it like it was actual, factual. So chime in or something. I'm waiting for you, Jared. Y'all remember that? Because I'm not going to give in to that. And that was asked of Bud point blank. And he said, nope. Didn't agree with you, Jared. Suit is still on. And since he's the man that put the suit on, I guess we got to give what he say a lot of weight, because you haven't produced Bob Arum that came on here and said that he didn't, or there's no articles written, nothing. You just kept saying it like it's a fact. I want to know, what's your connect? Who told you that? Where you get that from? And why was it important to tell this show, or to spew out that garbage? Because it's garbage at this point. I don't want to say you lied. You got it from somewhere, Jerry. Where you get it from? Mum's the word? I do want to know that. Because I kept trying to tell you, Jared, that has not been put out. But you ain't want to listen to me. You said, I told you several times, Blue Blood interviewed Bob Arum about 10 months ago. Arum said it. Bud said he cannot comment. Ask Blue, and he will tell you what Arum said. So, Jared, am I right? Was I right? See, that kind of information, Jerry, and I'm not picking with you because Jerry friend to the show, but that kind of information, Jerry, I'm not going to take it from no YouTube person. I wouldn't even tell y'all to take it from me. You heard, we talked about it when it happened, and we might have mentioned it once or twice here and there, but we didn't emphasize or talk about it much because we don't know. None of us is in the courtroom. And I kept telling you, it has not been put out. But the time that I see it be put out, I'm going to bring it here. I'm going to pull it up and say, look, Terrence dropped that suit. Trust me, I will. I ain't going to lie for Terrence. I'm a fan. I don't want to be no liar for him. I ain't that much of a fan of sports like that. I know the difference. Sports is an integral part of our society. It helps us, believe it or not, stay civilized, and I respect it for that. But I'm not gonna sell my soul and my integrity for it. It's just a game. It's just a sport. That's all it is. It gets us happy, gets us excited. It inspires us. It gives us aspiration, as it should. That's it. That's all. Terrence, I'm not gonna lie for him. He not paying my bills. He not my brother. I'm judging him fairly. I'm judging Earl fairly, I think. Now, I'll tell you when I pick with him, y'all hear me say it. And on that one, I am picking with Earl. I say it. But I ain't gonna lie on Earl. Just like my friend said, he heard Top Rank gonna terminate the contract easily. I didn't know if you're not happy in your contract, it was just that simple. I mean, if we could just disregard contracts, what is this country gonna turn into? Isn't this country is predicated on contracts? Jamal Neasy said, "Wait a minute, EJ fans are scared to hit the link." They might be. I don't see too many. Where PGH? I don't know. It ain't that many in here. They don't know how to break down the fight for their man. They don't. If all you're going to say is he fundamentally sound, so is every elite fighter. I let them have that shit. I ain't really say much about it, but I get tired of hearing that shit because I'm like, wait a minute. Isn't every elite fighter, isn't Boots fundamentally sound? And he's not considered elite. Yeah, he haven't won the title, but we know he fundamentally sound. A lot of them, anybody who got an undefeated record and got as many fights as he do, even if you've been beaten before, Lomachenko is fundamentally sound. And he's been beaten. I mean, is that the best that they could come up with? Jerry said, I heard Aram say it. I listened to the interview live. You're going to believe what you want, regardless if Aram says it or not. Jerry, I believe you. How about that? I believe you that you heard Aaron say it. I kept telling you that if that was the case, they would have put it out. That's what I kept telling you. Now I've heard Terrence say it. And it was put to him point blank. That's it. That's all. And Terrence said, no, he is the one that put the suit on Aaron. And he said no. So you either gonna believe Aaron or you gonna believe Terrence. It's your choice. But to say it as a fact, when the guy who put the suit out said he did not rescind it, I don't know, Jerry. I don't care either. But I would put more weight on what Aaron said as opposed to anyone else. And you're biased when you do that. And you're biased. Because I told you I'm waiting for them to put it out. Because if either one of them was right, somebody would have wrote an article about that shit and put it in writing for the world to see. Just like when he made the suit in the first place, that became public record. We was able to see it. So if he rescinded, that too is public record, and somebody would have put it out. But that never happened. General Big Fish said Wilder not fundamentally sound. There you go, Big Fish. Maybe not. I ain't even gonna argue that one, Big Fish. Maybe not. L Dub is in a building. What's poppin', King? Maybe he not. He might not be. But y'all don't say he's an elite fighter. He fundamentally sound enough. That record said he is. He one of the longest reigning champions. Or he had a whole lot of title defenses of his belt. He doing something. I say to you that most fighters, whether they elite B fighters or A fighters, or they fundamentally sound. I mean, when you teach boxing, you teach the fundamentals. In fact, if you ever go into a boxing gym and you say, I want to just train in boxing, you might get there the first week and, go there every day for that week and then say, the next week, I want to get in on some of the sparring. And they're going to tell you if they're responsible, if they care about you as an individual, and if they just, just plain old courtesy. they're going to tell you no. You have to prove you can get in there and spar. Even for that, you have to prove. Ask me how I know. I told y'all I coach boxing. I did it with children. And I did it with adults, but mostly with children. And we have children coming in, they couldn't wait, just like karate. Anybody ever take karate? Me and my brother took karate when we was young. We couldn't wait to start kicking and fighting for real like we seen on the karate movies on the weekend. We never did got the chance until we was in about a year. I was like, why the fuck? We doing all this running. They jumping on our stomach. They hitting us with bamboo sticks. They teaching us stance. You wax on, wax off, whatever the fuck. We ain't did the first bit of what we thought was karate. We was in the whole year. You know, stretching our legs, learning how to be nimble. And then one day, out the blue, we ain't see it coming. He put us in for the sparring. And we was able to do some shit we didn't think we could do. Because all we had to do is prove to the sensei that we can withstand whatever was coming at us. Because it's irresponsible for a coach or a sensei to put you in sparring and you're not even conditioned. You have to be conditioned first. And to be conditioned first, you know what you learn? Fundamentals. You learn how to properly jab, how to properly stand in the right position, how to properly calm yourself down, how to slip punches, how to sit on your punches, all the fundamentals. You have to prove that you know that and can do that before you would even get in a sparring match. In all the boxing gyms around the country, any boxing gym that doesn't do that is derelict. Point blank, period. L Dub said, how many fights did TBC promotions get on the undercard? I'm not sure, L Dub. I heard Isaac Cruz, which that right there got me hyped because that means it's going to be some good boxing that night. Shout out to Showtime for that. I'll give Showtime its props because they're going to be the ones putting it on. But I really give a props to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford for those two gentlemen coming together, making it happen. Jared said he did put it out straight out of his own mouth. Who is he? Who is he? Because you ain't talking about Terrence. You're not talking about Terrence. Again, you believe Aaron, I'm going to believe Terrence. But I wasn't going to say nothing either way until it was put out for the world to see. Public records is public records. When the suit came down, Jerry, they grabbed that paperwork, boxing conversation. I think it's a boxing conversation. Something with Fred Hawthorne, the one he used to do. He actually pulled up the whole suit. And this notion about it just being what is it, racial bias or whatever. Yeah, it has a little element of that in there, but it wasn't about that. If you read the paperwork, it's talking about a breach of contract. Point blank, period. That's what Terrence sued him for. Breach of contract. You didn't honor what you said you would do in your contract. So I don't care why you didn't honor it. Run me my money. That's Bud position. Aaron's position is he don't want to be sued. He don't want to go to court because if you take it that far, then you're gonna have discovery. And Bud didn't give him that wiggle room. I mean, Bud said it didn't happen. Nobody can produce no proof or receipts. Jerry, you have never offered no proof or receipts. You said what Aaron said. I said what Bud said. Now, if you believe more what Aaron said, I'm not mad at you, Jerry. You have every right to believe that. Every right. But I got a right to believe what Bud said, and he's the one that put the suit out. He would know. He would know as well. And then on the fact that either one of them can say what the fuck they want to say, somebody gonna go get the proof and the paperwork, and they gonna put it out. And that has never happened to corroborate what you said, Jerry. What we do know that there was a suit and that it was going to court, and that's all we know. General Big Fish said ungodly power. Jerry said we will see, I guess. So far, almost 3 years has not been heard. If the suit is still active, should be heard soon. Yeah, Jerry, that's all we gotta do is wait. Trust me, the powers that be and the motherfucking um, reporters and all that, they gonna be all over that, Jerry. We ain't gotta do nothing extra. I'm not mad that you say you heard Aaron say that. I can't be mad. I believe you, Jerry. I believe you heard that. But I was telling you that it's not true. And like I said, now we gotta wait till the reporters get a hold of the information to see which one of them telling the truth. I'll give y'all an example. The rumors started with Shakur Stevenson. He said he turned it down to 25%. Now, I like Shakur. Y'all know I got Shakur beating the whole 135 division. The only person that's going to give him some pause is going to be Tank Davis. And I say that all the time. But Shakur is capping a little bit. Because how they arrive at the purse split or whatever got a lot more to do with what's the formula that they got set up by the rule book when you activate a mandatory. When you activate a mandatory and shit go to purse bid, there is a formula they use. They take the last 3 fights of their highest pay, average it out, divide it by something, and they come up with whether it's going to be a 25-75 or a 60-40 or whatever split or 80-20 or whatever. So Devin, and y'all know I be on Devin ass on this motherfucker. But again, I'm not lying for nobody. Whether I like you or not, I'm not lying for you. Devin did not put out to Shakur, I'm going to take 75, you take 25. So Devin didn't give him nothing for him to turn down. That was according to the rule book. Now, he can have a problem with the rule book. If y'all want to call him a duck, he be called a duck. He has not activated his mandatory when he said he would, and that's all he got to do. Because Devin is chilling. And I bet you Devin would coast this whole fucking year out and not even fight. And it would satisfy what Bill Haney said. We will be the undisputed champ for the whole year 2023. Well, we 7 months in 2023. And where's the mandatory? Why haven't you activated the mandatory? I have to say that to Shakur Stevens. Why haven't you activated the mandatory? Why did you say sign the contract? You didn't activate the mandatory. And Bob, for whatever reason, has not made moves to put you in position to fight Devin. And this is some, but these things take time, and I'm giving Shakur Stevens the benefit of the doubt. But you said you're gonna activate the mandatory. It's not that hard. A formal letter, maybe an email, and that got to be done on your part. And when they activate the mandatory, that means Bob and Matchroom and Golden Boy and PBC and whomever else can bid on that fight. And the split will be according to the rule book. Not nothing Devin said or not nothing Shakur said. It's according to the rules. Let's not lose our rationalization or our logic when it comes to these things. But, so those are the facts. Jerry Tasker said, I read the suit. The very first several articles, very first page is about Aaron being a racist. Stop. No, it's not. I read it too. All of us read it. We read it with Fred. No, it's not. If that's how you want to classify it, it's about a breach of contract. So we just gonna brush past the whole point of that suit is about a breach of contract. Bob said he would pay him this if he didn't get him this, and he didn't. Bob also promised him 2 fights a year, and he didn't. So he has the oldest man. What you talking about, Jerry? What's up, ATL? Hold on, let me get through these chats. Jerry said the suit is available online. Anyone could Google search it and see exactly what it entails. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Y'all do that. Please do. D-Ray Promotions is in the building. What's poppin' King? What's
Salute,
up, my
King.
brother ATL? What's good with you?
Man, what's going on, Miss T?
Nothing, just cooking on this good shit. I hope you heard
Yeah,
most
man.
of it. You probably didn't.
I'm just getting back home from Atlanta.
Ooh, man. You had some good traveling mercies. You just walked
Yeah,
in.
man. I had to, had to lay my uncle down. Had a great service.
Good
Yeah,
going
yeah.
home service. Rest in peace. Rest in peace to your
So
uncle.
I'm back now. You know what I'm saying? I'm back. It was.
How you feeling?
I feel good, man. I feel good throughout the circumstance. I'm more at peace now. You know what I'm saying? My mind back focused. So I'm back, just chilling, man. And one day at a time. I can't complain. What you cooking on?
I'm sure your boy as usual.
Oh
But
Lord.
I would say this: in light of what happened to ATL and Birdman, shout out to him and everybody. Just take care of your health, y'all. That is serious business. Just take care of your health, y'all. Men, we want y'all to be here. Go to the doctor. Be seen. Preventive maintenance is way better than fixing the problem. Because if you prevent things, then the problems won't arise. So you should be on the side of trying to prevent things. Like do what you know you should do. Like when I talk about drinking water, so important, so important. And anybody that you've ever seen that was really, really healthy and really had their body in tune the way they wanted to do it, it came with water. You can't do nothing if you don't drink water. You will fail at most things. I'm just saying, because it's like you have to eat, you have to fuel your body, and you have to hydrate your body. So if you don't do those things, what body are you having to do whatever you want to do out there? So to me, stay healthy, y'all. Start with water, work your way up, do a lot of preventative things. Do things where you can. You done heard ATL, me, Miss ATL. We all talked about extra things you can do. I told y'all about the shower filter. Hey, that ain't gonna kill you.
Nope.
Easy fix. You be surprised how much your health is gonna turn around just by doing that. Ladies, if you want to grow your hair, invest in a shower filter. But other than that, you got anything you want to add to that about health, ATL?
Man, just take care of yourself, man. Don't take life for granted. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just talking to somebody about their health on a Friday, and they was gone on a Saturday, man. So take your health seriously. You know what I'm saying? Take care of yourself. Drink water, water, water. Stay away from sugar.
Mm. So yeah, and so I'm always talking about water and all that stuff. And I do little trick things to trick my mind. It sounds crazy, but it really does work because to do it the conventional way, it just wasn't working. So I do it unconventional way. Like I'll tell myself, I'm still gonna drink my sodas if I want to, but I won't drink them until I drink my water. By the time it's time for me to drink the soda because I've drank all my water, I don't really want the soda. And then if I do drink it, it's a couple of sips. How cool is that? So that's what I do. I trick my mind. I take a little bit at it in at a time, and then I wind up drinking way more when I take it in little by little. I realize a lot of y'all are out y'all house more than me. So do whatever it takes. I know when I was on the ship, I wasn't at home, and ooh, I wasn't even exercising or doing nothing. And when I tell you a sister was eating, ATL, Lord have mercy, I would eat 3 servings, man. Like they fed us good on the ship. That's why they always say the Navy people be thick as hell. We do. But I would have me this tall ass cup, and I would fill it up. They had the little ball ice, and we made our own water, so we make our own ice. But I would fill it up with ice and just drink water. And because it was so ice cold, I could drink it real quick. Then I wanted some more, and I wanted some more. When I would come back home from a cruise, a regular 6 months or 4 to 6 month cruise, I would lose about 60 pounds every time. You'd be like, damn, see, you got 60 pounds to lose? Yes. I'm an older person. Yes. I ain't no spring chicken. But yeah, I would lose about that much, come back, snatch. And they be like, damn, girl, what was you doing? They would think I was in the gym churning and burning. I wasn't doing nobody exercise. But I was eating everything in sight. And it turned out that me eating more helped me, drop pounds. I don't know why. I can't explain that one. But when I eat a whole lot, but I was eating because I was depressed. I'm away from my family. I'm away from my kids. And so, a lot of crying nights. So I turned to food. You know what I'm saying? And because I ate a lot and drank a lot of water, it could have been just the water. I know I was hitting at least a gallon of water a day or more. I know I was. I came back healthy, hydrated. I always came back in the best shape. Oh my God, did y'all hear that? I don't know if that was a firecracker. It sounded like a gun. But anywho, it was probably the water. Because water does that to you. A lot of people, I don't know if you hear this, ATL, people be like, oh, I don't want to drink too much water because I don't want water weight and blah, blah, blah. It'd be killing me every time I hear that shit. Dispel that myth in your head and drink your water. The water will make you lose weight if that's your goal. The water, drinking a whole lot of water will peel weight off you. Not drinking water gonna make you have water weight. Stop trying to lose water weight. Don't ever try to do that shit. Just drink your proper amount of water. There is a formula, however. If you want to go by the formula or just shoot for a gallon or 100 ounces, be my guest. But the formula is half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 120, then you should drink about 60 ounces of water a day. Point blank period. But if you're an adult, you can always drink a gallon. You know what I'm saying? You'll walk it off or whatever. You ain't gonna gain nothing. You're gonna lose weight. But that's all right. I'm gonna get off my soapbox on that. But ATL, I was talking more about the rumor that Top Rank, that ESPN is, tied to Top Rank and want to terminate their contract early. This is what a friend of mine told me. And I was like, where the hell you get that from? Have you heard that rumor?
Nah, I just heard, about a couple of people getting fired from. I heard about
Mm-hmm.
Max Kellerman getting fired and what you call it? What's his name? The damn Andre Ward and a couple more people getting fired. I heard about that. I ain't hear about Top Rank.
Yeah, but that's what he wanted to put out. Like, and he claimed that. I just said I heard. I'm like, man, unless you can back it up with proof. I just showed receipts. You have to go back and watch the show. I just showed
Okay.
receipts uh, that shows, because people are mad. This is an Earl fan right here, you guys. But I think ATL can even admit, that when Paramount said they're gonna do something about Showtime, let me re-ask you. Let me not assume. When Paramount has talked about what it's gonna do to Showtime, does that have anything to do with Errol Spence or PBC?
Not from my opinion.
And I don't. But
No.
can you explain why the Earl sexuals get so bothered by you by bringing it up about what Showtime what Paramount has said that they're gonna do to Showtime? Like, why is that a problem?
I don't know. It shouldn't even matter really. Like, why is we worried about that? We need to worry about the fighters in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
D-Ray said he drinking water. Ratch now. I know that's right. We gotta worry about it because it turns into a narrative and get totally out of control because its conclusion was, so Canelo got a 3-fight deal with PBC. So Matchroom is done. We know Golden Boy ain't got nobody. Top Rank about to lose ESPN. So the last person standing is PBC.
Exactly.
And you believe that? So I just asked you, do Showtime?
No, no. I don't
Okay.
know what Showtime. I don't know what the PBC got, what kind of deal they got with Showtime. I don't know about that, but I know the PBC by itself. Um, they
But
shouldn't
I,
have.
but he's saying that he's saying because we have said PBC is about to lose their network, which is true. It might go away. Like it's possible. I don't know how they gonna
I don't
parlay
think
this
so.
shit. I
I
don't know
don't
how
think
they gonna parlay this shit. But if Showtime is their network and Showtime goes away, then what do PBC do?
they got somewhere to go. I'm gonna tell you. Shout out to Champ Side, man. I watched one of his videos earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a whole like documentary on Al Heyman, like showing how much money he done, like how much he done had his hands in a little bit of everything since back in the day, man. And me just watching that documentary let me know that he's deep off in the game, man, and he know what he's doing. So I think whatever happens, he's still gonna be on top regardless, man. Because if you go watch Champ Side video with him talking about Al Heyman, he reported a lot of stuff that I didn't even know, that I wouldn't even thought of to know. So that's why I'm yeah, that's
I saw that episode. Shout out to Champ Side. I
yeah,
did see that episode where he was talking about all Al Heyman's success, but where the only thing that I would say, and it's a small but, he didn't talk about Al Heyman failures because he had massive failures too.
yeah,
So all of that's inclusive. You got to take the good with the bad.
yeah, yeah,
Beyonce lost a lot of money. Whitney lost a lot of money. Michael lost a lot of money. So as much as he was touting Al Heyman's success, Al Heyman under his umbrella, not on purpose, it happens to the best of them,
yeah,
has lost money too. So
exactly.
if you're gonna
It just
use it, so when
I'm
you
going by
have
track
that,
record. I'm going by track record from way back before I was born. So I
yeah,
think he'll
but
put
this
it
was
together.
track record, the same track record. During them times, he had ups and downs, his ebbs and flows. Al Heyman is a smart man. He did go to Harvard. He do make money. He know how to keep himself good. Now you can't 100% say that he could keep everybody else good because he lost money with all them same people. Or he called or whatever deal they was doing with him, they lost money with him. The only person you could talk about a record, he'd be like, they just kept getting better and better and didn't falter or anything when we talking about boxing. You have to talk about the great Floyd Mayweather because he never took a loss. So you have to be like, Floyd just kept getting better. He found a way to win. He maneuvered around this. He figured out how to solve that. You know what I'm saying? You cannot say that about Al. If you gonna tout his record, say his whole record.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying I could
Mm-hmm.
see him coming up out because I mean you got to think about it. To this day, it's more PBC champions right now than anybody anywhere else. So like he in a good
Is it?
position.
Well, Canelo just signed with him. So, I
So
mean, if
that
y'all want to
adds
claim
to
him, that's just adding to it. But
it.
you got Jamal. I mean Jamal. Well, we
And you know
probably do.
Canelo ain't dumb now either. That's probably why he signed with PBC because of other shit
Oh,
going.
I got a theory with that. Now I'm gonna tell you. I see what PBC is doing is what I would call the midnight hour, trying to make something happen in the midnight hour. And where I get that little phrase from, I'm sure y'all heard it all the time, but I get it from what James what's his name? John Adams did to Thomas Jefferson the day or the days before he had to turn the reins over to Thomas Jefferson. So back then, it has always been that you can be like a president can appoint you to a position, and it could be for a lifetime position, but the Senate has to confirm you, right? Back then, if you think about John Adams' time, this is right after George Washington. Everything was far and in between. You had to get on a horse and buggy To go over to the next state is muddy waters. It ain't no real roads. You ain't taking no plane. It can't be a phone call away. This was before all of that. So getting these confirmations done in a timely manner, like within a week or within days, wasn't going to happen. But John Adams waited to the last minute to appoint people in key positions that will hold key positions in Thomas Jefferson's reign as president. And every president want his own staff. That goes without saying. He want his own people. So as Thomas Jefferson gonna walk into office, he got to deal with John Adams' leftovers. So when Thomas Jefferson came through, if you didn't get your confirmation letter, and a lot of people didn't, he canceled that shit. We like tough titty. You ain't you lost that promotion because I'm saying you ain't gonna get it. So of course there was some pushback, and I think that case was Madison versus Jefferson versus Madison or well whatever. One of them cases. One of the important cases we ever had in America. Thomas Jefferson was ready to blow the government up, turn his on his head, because he was like, "Nah, you ain't putting your key people in our position because you ain't get confirmed." But PBC and Golden Boy and Matchroom and Top Rank, they do a lot of the same shit. They say they confirm shit. They do things right, but then they do things wrong. All of them the same, But when you talking about confirmation of things that's happened, all we got to go on, y'all, is by what's in writing. That's all we can do. Everything in writing, meaning there's things that is public records to us. We get them, we see them, we can confirm some shit, or are we gonna talk about our feelings? So, like I said, the fight coming up, and it's a lot to talk about. But I'm not gonna chastise you per se, ATL, for how you feel about Spence. You feel he is the best. Since you own here, I'm gonna give you a chance to take the floor. And the question was, does he make adjustments? And if so, how? Or what will he do against Bud Crawford? And I'm gonna let you take that. But talk about facts based on what we have seen him do in the ring. What we absolutely see. Don't talk about what you feel he can do or what you want him to do. Talk about what you've seen he do. Can you answer that question?
Nope, I cannot.
I was not prepared for that shit. Damn, nigga. How come you can't answer that question? That's crazy. At least he honest. Why you can't answer that question, man?
I don't know. Some questions ain't made to be answered.
That's what I be talking about, y'all. No head to ATL. That's why I love him. He gonna be honest with the shit. Because I'm gonna tell you what's a bad talking point. I've heard it. I let y'all have it, and I'm about sick of it. How do you think? What you think of this? Another thing I said before you came through. I said I'm tired of the fundamentally sound talking point. Y'all gotta say more than that about your boy than fundamentally sound, because any elite fighter is fundamentally sound. Damn near every elite fighter should be. Any fighter, period, if you're going to get in that ring, should be somewhat fundamentally sound. Now, somebody chimed in and said Deontay Wilder isn't fundamentally sound. He ain't as fundamentally sound as you want him to be, but he's fundamentally sound.
He's getting there.
But he's fundamentally sound. Look at his record.
Yeah, he's knocking shit out. But I'm talking about as far as everything else, like he's still learning. On his way out the door, he's still learning.
Yeah, I agree. People still learning. And I would agree that to your liking or to my liking or to any individual's liking, Deontay might not be as fundamentally sound as you want. But to give that as a compliment, it's kind of like a backhanded compliment or low-key condescending compliment. And I don't think the Spence fans know they sound like that. I just never said nothing because Cause I was like, that's all they gonna ever say. That's what they can say. He fundamentally sound, but that's something you can say about many fighters.
I think he still got
Distinguish Errol
room to
Spence
learn and
from
grow too.
everybody else.
I mean,
Huh?
his style ain't bad. Like his style works for him, but he still could learn some more
Mm-hmm.
stuff. I mean, if you
You talking
like,
about
he could learn how to
Deontay?
switch hitters. I'm talking about Spence.
Oh, Spence.
He could learn how to switch hit or
I
something. You
think
know,
if you this long, I think if you this long in the tooth, I don't care who you are, I wouldn't be trying no switch hitting. That might
no,
not
I'm just
work
saying,
good
just
for you.
period. Like it's all, what I was saying. It's
Yeah,
always room to learn something.
right. But see, that's a Spence fan, true and true. Dude, why you ain't got your T-shirt? Let me pull it up for you. Y'all see that ticker going down the bottom? Why
Different.
y'all ain't got y'all T-shirt? I'm wondering. Y'all not confident?
I'm finna grab me one, and
I
I
know
just got
y'all
all my
like.
other extra stuff out the way.
I know y'all like.
So
I know y'all like the one that they individually put out. But gone like Spence T-shirt look just like this. Undisputed 2023. Want y'all go on and name it, claim it. I just bought mine. It's a nice rugged shirt. I'm gonna be wearing it that night. I love how I feel. It's a tough little shirt, and it's marking time. But I wanted to talk about too. Y'all go to askmet51.com, you know, to
okay,
get y'all t-shirts. Um, so I wanted to talk about this. This is me guessing, and this is me speculating, and this is me, just thinking this way. This ain't like actual factual facts. You see how easy that is to say, y'all. So look, I think PBC is in the midnight hour throwing a Hail Mary. That's why I was talking about the John Adams thing. Y'all probably was like, what she was talking about, but that's what I was talking. In the midnight hour, PBC has put on some great fights this season, this year, thus far. They broke a million with Tank, Terrence, and Errol. I swear, I'm naming it and claiming it. They gonna break a million. I just believe it. I believe it. I don't know it, but I believe it. And then if Charlo and Canelo fight, they gonna break a million. I think that Canelo is on his way out the door. I think this is
why
the
he fight the
last
little
ditch
brother? I
shot.
don't get that.
And we don't know, but we can speculate. We can say, did the big brother, is he ready to come back? Do he want to go up to 168? The big brother could have turned it down. He might not be emotionally ready to come back mentally. Um, Maybe I don't know, or maybe Charlo likes to pick on little people smaller than him. I don't know, because some of the white guys in Europe, I don't know their name. It was a fighter. It was a white guy. What was the name? He came out lately. He said he got Canelo cherry picking again. But I think PBC is hedging his bets, because no matter how the Charlo and Canelo turn out, or the Spence and Bud turn out, PBC is finna make some money this year. They
Exactly.
finna they finna go over a million twice, well, three times total for sure. Because if Charlo and Canelo fight, that fight has got to do close to a million or over. Bud and Spence, like I said, I'm predicting it would go over. Um, so that's good for PBC. A little late, like I said, midnight hour. Paramount made their decisions not on 2023 numbers, but 2022. If PBC wanted to impress Paramount to make them change course and what they are deciding to do, they should have did this shit last year. But I believe, and he fell out, he gonna come back. But I believe that they're hedging their bets, because it's a win-win no matter how it turns out. I think Canelo will want to fight Jermell Charlo, because he's going to beat them arms up. And in my opinion, I think Canelo is going to win that fight with Jermell Charlo, because he's bigger. That's all I'm saying about that. The size matter. And Charlo, y'all say Bud is a person who he get hit. and then he get mad and he just go ham and lose his mind and want to go toe to toe. Jamel got that in him as well. If y'all say Bud got that. Uh, Checking the facts TV. What's popping, King? He said Errol stopping that man. I hear you. I don't think so, but I hear you. it's we all show love and respect. Thank you for joining the show. I haven't seen you before, but whatever your opinions are, we good over here. This a free opinion zone. Um, so Canelo is gonna beat Charlo, I believe, because they're gonna try to go toe to toe, and I think Canelo gonna win that battle. Because from the waist up, the dude is awesome. He got a lot of good experience, and Jamel, especially if he goes in there with some emotions, he gonna take himself right up out of there. So that's win-win for him. So that means he'll go up to fight at 168. If he goes up there and he beats Canelo, that makes Jamel a 2-division undisputed champion. So because we already know what Bud said, Bud coming for your cheerleader, and he named Jamel as his cheerleader. So if Bud goes to fight Jamel and wins, that makes him a 3-division undisputed champion. And any man coming behind them is going to be hard pressed to do it. If Spence wins, Spence is going to fight Charlo for sure. But to make it real big and spectacular, that again, if Charlo goes up there and wins against Canelo, he come back down to fight Spence. That just, his two-division undisputed champion versus an undisputed champion if Spence wins against Crawford. All that spells money. Canelo is on his way out the door. Canelo is not going to fight Benavidez. He's either going to fight Charlo or Spence. They are setting Spence up for the Canelo fight. I don't know how y'all don't see it, but I see it. I see it because if Jamel loses, which I think he will, then they're going to be like, well, fight Spence. They've been wanting Spence to fight Canelo. And one of those fights going to have a rematch. So that's the 3-fight deal. This is all a setup for Canelo to fight Spence in the long run. Even if Jamel lose and Spence lose, they can still run Spence up there to fight Canelo. It's money. And it's good for the fighters. Because they all going to be like making that moolah. Jay Cooley is in the building. He said 39-1. I don't think so. You funny, man. He said absolutely much respect. But that's how I see it. Canelo know what he's doing. Now, if he's been nothing but very strategic in a good way for himself throughout his boxing career, he's going to, in the long run, what he probably don't care all the money he making, but he's going to have an asterisk by his name for the cheating he did. His fellow citizens of Mexico, especially famous boxers, they don't hold him in a high regard. Chavez Sr. don't. Marquez don't. These are Hall of Famers that Mexico truly have. These are legit Hall of Famers. And they don't hold Canelo in high regard. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors with him. And it wasn't with them. They was warriors to the heart. They was pure D legit warriors. And everybody know that. So they don't hold Canelo that high regard. Canelo is not going to fight Andre. He's not going to fight Benavidez. And the thing with Benavidez is, he works with the PBC, and they probably dangling the carrot over Benavidez's head, trying to subdue him and be like, chill. We got him over here. See what we doing for you? We got him over here. But I'm going to tell you, after Canelo fights Charlo, he's coming for Spence, or Spence is coming for him. Win, lose, or draw. Raw. That is how it's going to be. It's about the money. You know what I'm saying? Spence is already making his excuses, in my opinion. You see how I say in my opinion? Um, he's already been making his excuses by talking about the sanctioning bodies. I don't think that was a good move on his part. This is what I mean by I agree with what he was saying. Timing, Spence. Timing. Timing is everything. I don't think you did yourself good service, by even speculating or going more in depth about the sanction about it. This wasn't a time or place. You just need to focus on your fight ahead of you. Because you got these sanctioning bodies feeling a certain kind of way about you. And guess what? That would be an excuse. That would be an excuse. That's one area that would be an excuse. Oh, they was mad at him because they blah 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 blah. He don't come off sure of himself. A lot of his fans do a lot of projecting. You know, um, a lot of his fans get mad at if you talk about Showtime or the PBC. You don't even have to talk about Spence, but it's like they attached to the hip. And that's because of the things that, like I said, that Spence said in the past, when he said little things. And some kind of way he made it look like they were all or nothing. But when Spence took authority of his career back and sat down and cut a deal, look what happened. The fight happened. And they both getting paid 8 figures. For starters. For motherfucking starters. And Spence should have been got paid 8 figures, in my opinion. But what do I know? That's just my opinion. Should have been. He was the big fish. He did a lot. He made PBC look good. They should have paid him. Now they got to. Now I'll stand here and say, y'all better thank Bud, because this was more so Bud, the person with one belt, making sure this shit happened, probably finding the investors and all that. But I know they don't want to give Bud the credit. It'll come out in the wash. Now, I know people like Andre Ward alluded to that, if y'all really knew what was going on behind the scene. But you know what, Bud? Don't tell us about it until after the fight. Let us know then. And then y'all take that blueprint, talking about the fighters behind them, and do what they did. Jerry Tasker said both Charlos going to get it. First male, then Maul. Jerry, you might have a point. I ain't think about that. He gonna beat Jamel up, and Jamal, are you saying like Jamal gonna feel obligated to go rep his brother and get that revenge? And then at the tail end is Spence. But Jerry, I know you see it. I think you saying you see it like me. Benavidez is not gonna get that fight with Canelo. He just ain't. What excuse? What you mean Bud will have to fight for his life July 29th? You mean Spence? Bud ain't got to fight for his life. I asked the question, and I asked this question, and I will put the link back in the chat. I said, do Errol Spence make adjustments? And if so, how or what will he do against Bud in the form of adjustments? Don't talk about what you feel. Be specific. Talk about what we have all seen that's in Errol. I named 6 attributes of Errol that I love about Errol. Y'all missed that, so I'm gonna repeat it.
He ain't gonna do nothing.
Spence is a pressure fighter. Hold on, ATF. Spence is a pressure fighter. He a pressure fighter when he throwing punches in your face to make you readjust and shit. At the same time, breathing out. I mean, he is pressuring your ass. He walking you down. He hovering over you, and he ain't letting up. That's an attribute. He does utilize his jab. He understands the concept. You can watch a lot of boxers, and you be like, why aren't you working off the jab? That's boxing 101. So I understand why y'all say fundamentally sound. I don't understand it why y'all give him that compliment instead of distinguishing him more, because that's boxing 101. Everybody supposed to work off the jab, but he does do that. He works off the jab because that's how you make shit happen. He walks you down or walk forward. And maybe you not good walking, fighting off the back foot. Maybe you not good going backwards, period. So he gonna expose you and he gonna catch you like that. Because he is leading the way. He making you dance to his tune. And he's relentless. I love this part about him. Relentless. You know, I don't care what, I can't think of nothing you could do to make this motherfucker not be relentless. And he sits on his punches. That's a good thing. That's a bad thing. Because he fight halfway sitting down. So to the person that's on their toes, he gonna have to pick his feet up. And that takes time. And in that time, all it takes is a second or half a second. So Errol Spence got to get better at knowing how to transition from being on his toes to sitting down. He's not going to do it in this amount of time. So we know he's going to halfway sit on his punches. And he has power. We know he has power. He has sudden power. A lot of people who fight him say he have power. Now, he don't have knockout power, hardly, but he got power. You know, there's some people that got knockout and some people don't. So I would say this. Every attribute I just named of Spence pretty much sums him up. ATL, I hope you can hear me. Now, can we honestly say, looking at them 6 attributes, that Bud don't have the same thing? We can say the same thing about Bud on all 6 of them things. Now, if I sat here and went through all of Bud's attributes, we cannot say the same thing with Spence. And this is how Bud fans explain why he's going to win the fight. But you guys say fundamentally sound, that's everybody that's elite. That's most boxers. It's probably 90% of the boxers that get in the ring are fundamentally sound. What are you saying? It's a backhanded compliment. Jay Cooley said jealousy and envy from Bud. Bud ain't jealous of him. Jay Cooley, Bud made more than him as a fighter. Bud has accomplished more than him. Bud is guaranteed Hall of Fame. We know this today. And he's not even retired. What do Spence got that Bud want other than them 3 belts? What has Spence done in his career that Bud so desperately want to be able to do? Because everything Spence has done, Bud has done. Bud has done before. You know, you're going to say 3 belt champion. Well, when you undisputed, you're a 4 belt champion. So everything that Spence has done in his career, Bud has did that and then some. So how do you be jealous of somebody who hasn't accomplished more than you or made more? Because you know, with y'all men, it always come down to money. He made more than you. So how do you square that circle? He said y'all banking on Bud to move. I'm banking on Bud to move because that's all I've ever seen him do. He's a pure boxer. And he a puncher. Just like I'm banking on Earl to throw his jab and try to walk Bud down. I'm banking on Earl to sit halfway on his punches as he's walking people down. I'm banking on Earl to do Earl. I'm banking on Earl to be relentless until something happens that changes that course or that path. But I'm banking on Earl to be Earl. So I'm banking on Bud to be Bud. Now, and here I will tell you, I got Bud all day and twice on Sunday. But both of them elite. They great fighters. It's boxing. Anything can happen. Would I be disappointed? Yeah. And I'm going to come in here on that Monday and take my medicine like the grown woman that I am. Let y'all get y'all rocks off and say, I told you so. But y'all better be ready for me. Because really, what's gonna happen? We're gonna come in here at Monday, and we're gonna be look. This is what it's gonna be right here. Y'all gonna say undisputed Terrence Bud Crawford, undisputed 2023. Go on and get your shirts while they got them. Go to this site right here. Like Google this. AskMeT51.com. That's AskMeT51.com. Go in there and shop till you drop. Get your undisputed. It's one in there for Earl too. All different colors. You can get black, blue, whatever. Go in there and get your shirts. Name it and claim it. Go in there and get your shirts, shawty. This one, this a Bud one too. Don't that black set it all? That's one of the t-shirts too. I'll go get them. And the ticker is at the bottom if you wondering what it was. AskMeT51.com. He said Bud Crawford has been lineal twice. EJ has not. That too. And Ring Magazine. So, Jay Cooley, this is what I mean by I'm going to have to diagnose you with SpenceVid 20. For those of y'all who weren't in the beginning of the show, when I explained with SpenceVid, unlike COVID-19, SpenceVid 20 is where Spence fans really be delusional, or they throw logic out the window, or they be irrational. They can't assess things. They don't know the difference between one year to the next year. Things that elementary students know, things that you know they know, but sometimes when some kind of way when you get to talking about Spence, all of that leaves their brain or something. Jay Cooley, and I'm being respectful when I say this. You said jealousy and envy, but you're saying like Bud is jealous. And last time, I know what jealousy mean. I mean, I can bring up the definition of jealousy. We all know what jealousy means. And I'm trying to figure out how does that apply to Bud to Errol. I don't even think it's Errol to Bud. I don't think Errol is jealous of Bud. Maybe he is. But we definitely can't say Bud is jealous of Errol. He's accomplished more. He's made more money. Because, I mean, like I said, y'all men use money as a measuring stick. Remember that song? Money, power, respect, key to life. How the little Kim said, first you get the money, then you get the motherfucking power. Then you get the respect, key to life. Bud just made $10 million. Earl never did that. So between the two, he's the first. Now Earl and him together, because they sat there like grown men and took control over their career, they both going to make $10 million at least. We don't know the exact amount, but we know at the least it's $10 million. But doing it Earl's way, neither one of them was going to get a purse. Who found those investors? Because if you go by what PBC said, they don't have the money. They can't pay Bud. Not even what he was used to. Am I lying about that? Isn't that what they said? So it sounds like Bud found the investors. The person who is the B side did the heavy lifting. That's crazy, right? So you got to make it make sense, man. But the cure to your SpenceVid 20 is going to be administered by Bud Crawford on July 29th, 2023 this year, when he beat the dog mess out of Spence. Then all of y'all will be cured. The spell will be broken or lifted. He said y'all will find out July 29th he's been smoking mirrors his whole career. I ain't been smoking mirrors. Smoking mirrors about what? That's easily said. Be specific. Errol was fine with no guarantee. So who wanted more? Just keep that same energy. That you ain't winning no badge or carriage because you don't want to take money. You going against the grain of the sport itself. What man don't want his money for whatever deed he served or do. I'll wait. In my E-Thriller voice, I will fucking wait. Jay Cooley, you know I'm just picking with you, but I'm being factual. I ain't mad. But you say this is where you show me that you got Spence vid 20, because no man is cool with not getting paid when he do his service, when he provide a service, do a job or whatever. I don't know no man that ain't looking for his coins, not in any aspect of life. Y'all serious about y'all money. That's what I know of men. Y'all serious about y'all coins. You're not playing with that. That's across the board. I don't give a care what race or what sex you claim. That's across the board. All men serious about their money. So when you say he was fine with no guarantee, I don't know why you even say that. You guys make idiotic, illogical arguments. I have to say that, Jay Cooley. That's an idiotic, illogical argument. What does that prove? Him beating his chest that he Captain Caveman or something? He was ready to do it without no money. What? You don't think Errol Spence wanted the money? Or was that his handlers? You know, I seem to think sometimes maybe Earl was listening to me. I don't think I'm the only one, but I was on Earl ass about giving people carte blanche over his career, authority over his career. Hell no, Earl. You take the reins on that. Don't let nobody turn down $25 million for you. Are you crazy? You take the reign on that. You're going to fight one of the hardest fighters that you're going to fight, and you willing to take no pay on the hopes that you get the back end? It's so much fiddle daddle with that. You got to make, what they don't tell you is you got to make a threat. You got to make it to a threshold before they can even split like that. If let's say they deem the threshold got to be 400,000, but they only make they only sell, let's say 250. Okay, then you didn't make 400,000, so that back end money is null and void. You don't get no back end money, but you always had your purse. It's called prize fighting. Who is pushing the narrative or the notion that boxers now should fight without a prize? Where that come from? Who does that? How does that make sense? Only to an Errol fan. Only to an Errol fan. You guys are suffering bad from Spence vid 20. Don't worry. Terrence Crawford going to have a lot of inoculation that day, July 29th. Y'all going to be okay. We're going to get y'all back healthy. WJ said at Jay Cooley, is Earl rejecting his 8-figure payday now? I don't think he is, WJ. I think Jay Cooley was saying Earl was cool with fighting Terrence for no money. So who more tougher? In other words, like, so who you think is the truth? Who's the real Holyfield between the two? Because he was ready to fight for no money. That ain't no badge of honor. That's a badge of stupidity. Because look what happened. Look what happened, Jay Cooley. When the two gentlemen got together and sat down and decided their fate, and didn't let Al do it, look what happened. If Errol Spence never fight again, look what happened. He about to make bank as he deserves. Fucking with Crawford, but y'all say Crawford dumb. Look what Al Heyman was gonna do. Now y'all just heard ATL get up here and try to say that Al Heyman all this success, but I said, hey, he had failures too, but he got all this money, he got all this success, but some kind of way you could not pay Both of these fighters last year. You could not pay them a purse. But you all that. Is that fuckery? Is that gamesmanship? What is that? Why would you try to turn the boxing fans and the boxing community into making this become the norm that fighters meet up and don't get a purse? It has always been prize fighting. Y'all got to stop this nonsense. Y'all got to stop it. And I'm nipping that shit in the bud. I don't really want to hear, but hey, I know it's going to happen. But I don't care to hear he fundamentally sound. Come better than that. Why y'all like backhanded complimenting him? Low-key condescending complimenting him. Because you don't have nothing to say. Well, you know, Errol Spence is a fundamentally sound fighter. What elite fighter is not? I'm waiting. None of you Errol fans have come in here and said what elite fighter is not fundamentally sound. I know from being a coach, there's levels to it. There's things you can do and things you can't even get in a sparring match if you don't have fundamentals down. If they can see that you can't even hold your hands up or stand in the right position, if that's just two things, you won't get into sparring in the gym. You won't get it. If you can't run from here to there or however long they know, and I think when on that low level, they do like 3 miles or something, or at least 2 miles, you're not getting in that sparring match. If you can't jump rope for 8 minutes straight, you're not getting in the ring to spar nobody. If you can't hit the heavy bag hard, and every time you hit it, you break your hand or something going on with your fingers because you're not properly holding your fist right, you're not getting in the sparring. What you mean fundamentally sound? That's what I be saying. What the fuck do they mean? Fundamentally sound. Isn't everybody? But like I said, dude came back with the Deontay ain't fundamental. Deontay is. He's just not fundamentally sound on the level you want him to be. Deontay has worked off the jab. That second fight with Ortiz showed you he worked off the jab and knocked Ortiz out. Off the jab. You know, but the closer we get to the fight, I'm going to call it out. And it's just a fight, y'all. It's just a fight. I don't hate Jay Cooley. I don't hate PGA's Big Dog or General Big Fish or Q or all the guys and fellas that are Spence fans, or even my friend that came with that nonsense to me today. I don't hate y'all. Y'all opinions mean something, even if I don't agree. But logic can't go out the window. Rational thought can't go out the window. Y'all can't make shit up to prove y'all point. You can't. Y'all, I see a lot of y'all Spence fans, y'all love Shakur. Why? Because he a pure boxing fight on his toes. And I hear y'all. I sit there and listen. And y'all say the same things we say about Terrence. But if you talk about Earl, all of that goes out the window. A lot of y'all are fans of pure boxers. Because the whole point of the game or the sport is to hit and not get hit. The sweet science, hit and not get hit. And there's a formula to hit and not get hit. It depends on the person. Can they execute it to the T? That remains to be seen. But people have shown that 80% of the fight, they can hit and not get hit. In boxing, you gonna get hit. Errol Spence has been hit and hurt or stunned, just like Terrence has. But you guys act like he's Superman. Everybody can tell you what a tore retina or whatever it is, and hey, we talking Errol Spence, he's the man of steel. It means what it means for everybody else, but not for him. Like I said, he'll say he took something that was normal and considered cool, something called tune-ups. It was a necessary thing to help get ring rust and not lose your standing or your way. Just brush some of the dust off. Maybe you had an injury. Maybe you had a death in your family. Maybe you had to get surgery on something. Whatever. So you take a tune-up because you're not at 100%. Well, Earl just made that negative because tune-ups are for people who not sure of themselves. And he run around beating his chest like Captain Caveman and turned right around and took a tune-up with Danny Garcia. Now, I know y'all said Danny is not a tune-up. Okay, cool. But compare Danny to Bud Crawford. Who is the tune-up? Because those was his choices. Danny or Bud. Danny did not satisfy strap season. Bud did. Danny has ducked Bud. Bud never ducked Danny. Danny cannot beat Bud. Bud can beat Danny. And I think we all know that. So between the two, which one would you consider a tune-up and which one not? You have to go with Danny. You'll have to go with Danny. So I say that, everybody get mad because they're thinking I'm calling Danny overall. Danny's a great fighter, accomplished fighter, and I'm a fan of Danny's. But compared to Bud, he is a tune-up. If facing Earl said that shit right before he fought Danny and went and fought Danny. Earl does what he say he gonna do. This is what y'all fans say. He does everything he say he's gonna do. He the truth. He said it was strap season. There should never have been a need for Danny because Danny didn't offer a strap. So miss me what he said he gonna do. Now I get it. We here now. But this what I mean. I'm just using them as an examples to call out y'all irrational thought patterns and illogical statements and all this stuff. And you can't say nothing that is proven, like what Paramount is doing. I will say this. I'm saying this, and maybe this is happening with y'all cable. I have Xfinity. Anybody that got Xfinity know on the remote, you can press a button and say Showtime, and it'll turn to Showtime. Well, my remote or my TV gets discombobulated when I do that. They take me to a channel where I can sign up for the Showtime app in a trial membership or whatever. I have to go ring around Rosie to get to Showtime. I have to say USA because I know that USA is a few channels above my Showtime. Then hit the guide button and go down to where the Showtime is. And that's the only way my Showtime channel will play. But even speaking it into my cable remote don't recognize Showtime. Because Showtime will be absorbed into Paramount Plus. But your Spence fans, the ones that got Spence Vid 20, they act like they don't understand the difference between 1 year to the next. They looking at all the good stuff that PBC is doing this year with Showtime as if that matters to Paramount. Remember, me, T, and other independent YouTubers, as well as the LWC and everybody who does those boxing channels, we didn't do this. We didn't call for this. We have no power in none of this. That's Paramount. None of us work for Paramount. And Paramount did not make a decision to say, well, we're going to see what they do in 2023. Then we're going to base our decision on that. Paramount made their decision last year. And as we speak, especially since June 27th, I just showed y'all in the article, they are implementing their decision. They deem Showtime Boxing as being one of the programs that did 10% or less, and they decided not to keep it. I just showed y'all in writing where Steven Espinosa's new job is going to be. I just showed y'all. So you mean to tell me Showtime is doing great and it's going to be here forever, but did Steven get fired? Is that what y'all saying? Steven didn't get fired. He got moved over to CBS Sports under a certain person. I just showed y'all that. All y'all got to do is Google that. What's Steven Espinosa's new job at CBS? So when Errol Spence has said, I'll never fight on ESPN, what he gonna do now? Because I just learned that app, which the app is put together real good. I don't know why Showtime getting rid of it, but maybe they have to. But the app is going to get phased out too. Not overnight, but it's going to be phased out according to Paramount by the end of the year. So where is PBC Fighters going to fight? The contract with Fox is gone. Where? Unless they throw in the Hail Mary, and they could be, because all this shit that they doing this year, Fox could be like, we'll fuck with you again. Could. If Fox is convinced that the suits won't get in the way no more, you hear people talking about that, like Roy Jones and others saying the suits got out the way. That's why shit is happening. You think the suits want to get out the way? They're playing ball because the bigger picture. They need a network. So they're going to play ball, but they still have intentions of doing what they want to do that doesn't work. So when you touting Al Heyman's, accomplishments and stuff, this is a failure. In the beginning, he was very accomplished, but this part is a failure. It's because of how he did business, and Showtime being in bed with them, that Paramount wasn't happy. And Steven Espinosa should have always had his eye on the ball to make Paramount happy, not Al Heyman. Work with Al, but you should always want to make Paramount happy or represent Showtime. And last year was a dud. So that's all I have to say today. I did open it up to see if somebody could come and explain it. My residential normal co-host ATLs told the truth. And y'all know he a Errol Spence fan. He said, I don't know. He said, I can't. He said he couldn't talk about Errol Spence and do how and what would he do against Bud. He's an Earl fan. He know Earl gonna win the fight, but he can't explain how Earl make adjustments. Because as I just laid out Earl's attributes, all 6 of them, he may have some more, but these are the ones that stand out to me. Every last one of them I can look at and say, ditto. Crawford got the same thing. But if I lay out Crawford's attributes, no. Crawford fights on his toes. Errol Spence don't. Crawford knows how to fight going backwards. Errol Spence don't. Not good to me anyway. I ain't gonna say he can't, but he can't do that on the regular. Crawford can turn angles. He knows how to adjust and adapt. He knows how to feint. He knows how to do little things. He can fight forward, backwards, sideways, whatever. Errol, no. But everything Errol can do, Crawford can do. See, when we explain why we think Crawford gonna win, we get specifics and we talk facts. When you guys explain, you can't even come up with something other than fundamentally sound. That's true of pretty much most people. And you can't think of nothing to say outside of that. That's a problem. That's why we know. And Errol know too. And PBC know too. Shout out to PBC for making the move with Canelo. Uh, he just set it up, Earl will get his fight with Canelo, win, lose, or draw to Terrence. He'll get a fight with Canelo, and Canelo will be happy to oblige him because that would be somebody good on his resume because it's Errol Spence, and they would make the money, and everybody would live happily ever after. They all be some rich motherfucking niggas, but and hey, can't be mad at that. That's why I say it's just boxing, y'all. We're just speculating and all that. So until we meet again, in my Pamela James voice. Peace.